Don't you hate when your favorite fighter is piecing this dude up, but then all of a sudden, their opponent decides to be a little butt munch and hold your favorite fighter up against the cage? Hi, my name is OJ, and today we'll be talking about one of the hottest topics today, being held up against the fence. Is it okay? Is it not? I kind of understand both sides, but sometimes these examples are just very egregious. Throughout this video, we're going to be going over a couple of examples of your favorite fighter being held up against the cage for their opponent to win. So, without wasting more time, let's jump right into the video. All right, we're going to start off with the most notorious example to date, Merab Dvalishvili versus Jose Aldo. I find this somewhat justifiable. Just look at the stats between Merab and Jose Aldo. You have Merab landing more strikes, and people want to point out that Merab shot for 0 for 16 on takedowns. If that's where the majority of that fight was spent, and Merab clearly outstruck him on the feet, I don't find any reason to criticize Merab for this performance. Am I going to tell you that this is one of the most exciting fights to date? No, because that would be lying. But to fault Merab for this performance, I don't find that justifiable. If anything, don't understand why people crapped on Merab. Like, I do get it, it wasn't fun to watch, but I'm just gonna see that this was completely justified because Merab clearly won the fight. Now, up next we have Jose Aldo versus Mario Bautista. Now, unlike Jose Aldo's fight with Merab, Jose Aldo won on the feet. And it's not just the stats telling you, you can clearly see it throughout their fight, especially in rounds 2 and 3. Look at Mario Bautista's head crack wide open because of the shots. I don't know how you're going to give that fight to Mario Bautista. Like, sure, Mario Bautista pulled Merab Dvalishvili and went 0 and 11 for takedowns, but it's not like he went and outstruck Jose Aldo. It's not like it was even competitive. Jose Aldo was clearly better than Mario Bautista on the feet. Jose Aldo was the one who actually caused damage. So I don't understand why we gave it to Mario Bautista. Matter of fact, I don't understand why people are justifying this. And you can say that Jose Aldo should have got off the cage. But how about this? How about Mario Bautista actually make it a competitive fight on the feet with Jose Aldo before giving him the victory? Now, up next, we're going to be talking about Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Gary. I don't know who actually likes Ian Gary, and I hope I never will. But this should be justified. Shavkat Rakhmonov not only held Ian Gary up against the cage, he also won on the feet. Like, name one thing Ian Gary did well, other than in the third round, where he's just throwing cheap kicks and head kicks, and like partially landing on the guard of Shavkat Rakhmonov. Maybe if Ian Gary did that for like 3 of the 5 rounds, then sure, you can actually start saying that Ian Gary won the fight. But Eh, not really. Shavkat Rakhmonov was the one who won majority of the exchanges throughout 3 rounds. Rounds 1, 2, and 4, Shavkat Rakhmonov rocked Ian Gary's head and had him begging for mercy. Now up next we got Randy Brown versus Brian Battle. Listen, I still like Brian Battle, but yeah, that I understand why a lot of fans were turned off that fight because I thought Randy Brown won the fight. Rounds 1 and 3, Randy Brown was piecing up Brian Battle on the feet, and Brian Battle primarily won through clinching up against the fence and not really getting anything effective out of the grappling. Sure, it did sap a little bit of Randy Brown's strength, but it wasn't like that by that much. Randy Brown was still cracking him with shots in the third round, so I don't think it was very much effective when it comes to judging the fight. Up next, we got Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. I don't really mind this. Alex Pereira got held up against the cage in the fourth round against Magomed Ankalaev. It wasn't like Magomed Ankalaev was doing that the entire fight, and there wasn't really anything to score for Alex Pereira in the fourth round. I'm not gonna put this all on Ankalaev just because he held him up against the cage for 1 round. If anything, I would blame Pereira more for this fight for being on the back foot, leg kicking at range like Alexander Rakic for almost the entire fight. Now up next, we're gonna be going over Alexander Volkanovski versus Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo made an appearance in this video 3 times. Unfortunately, he's been the victim of being held against the cage 3 times in a row. And while I do believe that Mario Bautista pulled some bullshit in order to win his fight, not gonna lie, Jose Aldo does need to work on getting off the fence if he was still an active fighter. And that's because of his fight with Alexander Volkanovski. Volkanovski was able to use this strategy on top of the fact that Volkanovski was winning on the feet for 3 rounds. I got nothing to really complain about this fight. And compared to the Marab fight, this wasn't that bad. I will say that Volkanovski walked so that Mario Bautista can run. And unfortunately, Mario Bautista is now known as a terrorist to the sport. But regardless, again, it wasn't that bad. So I have no real complaints about this fight. All right, that's gonna be it for today's video. Leave a comment down below what you think about clinch wrestling and just being held up against the cage in general. Do you think it's acceptable? Do you think there needs to be more definitive lines against this? But yeah, leave everything down in the comments below. And other than that, make sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.